Hello everyone, I am Tasta and welcome to the Gems of War campaign 11, week 1, day 3. So today, of course, we finally got Zephyrus Cloud. So this is a pet that has been around for 6 months now, I believe version 6.2 if I am not mistaken. And yeah, it's been out for quite some time. However, it hasn't been, it's complete RNG if you would have gotten it before. However, this is the first time it has been available at a guaranteed chance. I believe my guild has already found it a couple times. However, I was never around during those times, so definitely gotta start out by getting this cloud. Overall, it's nothing too good, but it is a non-cosmetic one, however. Ends up giving a bonus to Zephyrus. He's a troop you don't really use beyond, early on in the game. You kind of use him in Arena, however, this bonus does not apply to Arena. It only applies outside of Arena. However, it's an okay troop, it's just not really used in the current state of the game. It has like a destroy column, does a bunch of split damage, has a decent boost ratio, but that only really works at lower level range. Higher level range, it's pretty underwhelming, and the extra stats that he gets from this cloud is not enough to make him viable. So overall, yeah, it's basically a pet that does nothing, realistically. Though I believe it does apply if you get a summon of Zephyrus, so if you have something that like summons random giant or something similar, you can get a little bit of value from it, but aside from that rare circumstance, you're almost never really getting anything from the cloud. Anyways, hello Bill, hello Roman, hello Barbara, hello Daddy Shark, hello Gimli, hello Genki, hello Roman, hello Barbara, hello Andrew, hello Steve, hello Draco, hello Isabel, hello Gimli, hello Cookie, and hello everyone else. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope all's been well. Yeah, almost Vault event weekend. Not tomorrow, but the following day. We're going to be farming it a lot this weekend. We're going all in power farming. My current plan is, we're going to start around, like, noon every day. And then go for, like, 10 hours, probably. Like, pretty much till the time we would normally stop at night. Like, basically start at noon and go until the time we basically go to normally at night. So, we're getting a lot of grinding. Also, because we've kind of been slacking the last few Vault events, and now that the patch actually makes us need some resources, it'd be a good time to try to catch up on them. The pet is the only way to get Stormheim to level 23. Wait, is it? Are you sure? I'm pretty sure I already have it. Wait, let me double check. What is Stormheim currently at? Is it? I don't know because I'm at 25. But I don't have this pet. I don't know, what's the other pet for Stormheim then? Because I already have it and I don't have the pet yet. Kingdom, Stormheim. Stormheim. There's already 3. Well, no, is there one where you need 4? They have actually never re-released this one, so yes, if you don't have the 15th anniversary 505 games pet, which they've only handed out 1 copy of, whenever that was, I can't remember exactly when. That's actually a couple years ago, I don't remember exactly. But yeah, if you didn't end up getting this pet and there's an objective to get 4 pets, you actually would need this cloud. But otherwise, there's enough without it. They were going to need a 4th max one at some point, and I'm not going to bother maxing the cloud here, though. Anyways, let's go finish getting the cloud. Yeah, it's not required for 25 star, but it would definitely make it easier to get past that point. Am I going to be getting Zelda 2? Yes. Oh, yeah, we're good. I still haven't played Breath of the Wild 1. But yeah, we still need to go play and stream Breath of the Wild 1. But yeah, we'll be doing 2 as well. We'll be doing both. But I believe it's coming out sometime next year. I don't know the exact date. As far as Nintendo games, probably the main thing that we're going to be playing is just Pokemon for probably the rest of the year. Because I don't think there's any other big drop Nintendo's doing for the rest of this year. Other than Splatoon, but I'm personally not that into Splatoon. Like, the premise of it, like, if I was to bother playing a shooter, is definitely closer to what I would like. But I'm just not a fan of the genre. What do we even need here? I believe that comes out in like a week or something. But not even gonna bother. Let's see, I'll take that down. Oh, we covered a video on the other thing earlier today. I think it currently has less views than this stream has concurrent viewers. But yeah, it's kind of funny because around the same time that we posted, the Pokemon channel actually posted like all the tournament battles, including the one I was making the team thingy for, which is kind of funny. You're gonna buy Shining Pearl tonight? Nice. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Gen 4 when I was a kid. Though I haven't played it in, like, gosh, 15 years, because I never bothered getting the other one yet. Right, but there we go. We got ourselves the Cloud. And that now gives us +2 to all points whenever we use Zephyrus. Zephyrus is very useless, though. And we're not really going to be using him. But you never know. He might get summoned. And if I'm not mistaken, this bonus should apply to him when he gets summoned. So it basically just has 2 to all stats now compared to not having 2 to all stats. So it adds up a little bit. Anyways, let's go over to here and just grab our 5 little mastery gems then. And let's see. Wait, we do have an event key, so we'll go grab this and we'll go to dungeon. With the exact same team. We still have not gotten a single perfect run yet, by the way. It will eventually happen. We will eventually get it. Frostfire is one you need to beat. Got 3 blocked in. Oh yeah, Frostfire is a pretty easy pure faction though. You just run the true damage steal one and you just auto win. It's the only thing you need. Like, it might seem like it's worthwhile to, it might seem, yeah, we still haven't gotten it perfect. Like, it might seem worthwhile to try to use the Frostfire King or whatever his name is, but you can literally just spam the rare and you auto-win with how much lifesteal it has. Because not only are you doing true damage to the enemy, killing them quicker, but you're gaining the life that you do to them back. Hello, Logic Slayer, welcome. Hello, Clip Bomb as well, welcome, welcome. Alright, let's go take, the dungeon. Let's see what we can do. So far our luck on dungeons has still been really bad. Come on, go. Ooh, an extra 11 rubies. That's so small, but hey. Okay, so far so good. No! No! Gosh. Well, that's the first time we've seen this one, though. It's not really that good, though. It gave us 10 rubies, though. It technically gave us 11. This says 10. I guess we get a little bit of bonus because of the level we're on. That's a very small amount of loot. Also, it's not Dragonite. Well, we got burned and weakness. Unfortunate. But yeah, we will eventually get it perfect. It will happen at some point. When that some point is, I do not know. But it will happen. Statistically, it'll eventually happen. Oh, hello, Jason. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, we've been getting pretty unlucky on it. Though this is roughly like, what, a 1 in 10, and it's been, what, 8 days now? So we're not super unlucky yet. But we will be if we don't get it in the next few days. Like, if we go 3 weeks and somehow get no perfect, we're definitely exceedingly unlucky there. But it can happen. Too bad you can't spend like a small amount of gems to scout a single room. Because right now, it is just purely luck-based. Well, let's get our consistent Dragonite. 60 a day will eventually get us there, even if we don't get a single perfect. Just getting perfects will get us there quicker. Hey, how much Dragonite are we total right now? Oh yeah, I forgot you can't check in that tab. Let's see. We check over to inventory. We're at 65 Dragonite, so we still got a ways to go. Well, if we get one perfect in there, that will definitely be at least a day early. Well, every time we get a perfect, will be at least a day early or 2 days, depending on how it falls. Oh, there we go. Also, I haven't been getting the curse runes. Have any of you guys actually been getting the curse runes at all? Like, it's not a bad offer. I just don't really need them. Like, there's definitely people who do. And in that case, it's, like, not that bad of value. What's the offers? Nothing good. Yeah, where are all those new offers? I haven't seen a single one. Maybe they forgot to add them or something. Because what? It's been 3 days now, and I still have not seen a single one of those new offers. Which I assume they just didn't bother adding yet. Which seems to be the case. Anyways, let's go and, I guess we'll start running some Volkies. Because what's the other event we have today? That's basically it. Because World Events is realistically probably already done by the guild. Or at least really close. Alright, we could actually do our battles. You know what? Let's do World Event real quick. We're actually far enough away where we actually should assist here. And get those battles in. So we'll go do World Event real quick, hand out a code. And then we'll go and open a bunch of Volkies then. So we'll do it like that. Anyways, let's go and head over there. If I could figure out where the right tab is, there we go. Alright, we want to take this one. And we're still using this team, this seems fine. Just kind of doing the double high king. Black Manacle, double king, bunch of brown mana accumulation, kind of just auto win off of that. We convert onto the purple. Get all the mana we need. Throw down our, actually, let me take that first. Just want to make sure he doesn't get any kind of value there. Very nice little AoE there. Unfortunately gets a summon, but then he just dies to follow up. Also, his ability does not double tap when there's only one left. He hits the last two enemies, which means he does not tap the final one twice. Because specifically the last two, and when there's only a last one, it just simply taps it once. There's quite a few, depending on how their wording is, or how they feel like actually hitting, that either double tap or single tap. And he unfortunately is one of the single tap ones. Which I'm going to go for this first. I did it that way just to make sure the Valraven would die. Because obviously we don't want it running away. If you don't get another perfect run on the next 3 days, you have a second egg Sunday. Nice. Yeah, if we don't get a single perfect run, we gotta wait a while. Because how many we're gonna need? We're gonna need 7 more days. No, 8 more days. Wait, really? 8 more days? Yeah, we would need 8 more days. Which means it would be Thursday of next week for us to get our second egg. If we don't get any perfects between now and then. That is a decent amount of time of not having second egg. But at least it will be better than getting the wrong egg. Though getting a wrong egg this early, well, it would still matter, but you know, it's out of that many rolls, it wouldn't really matter too much yet. Because it's bound to happen at least once, if not a few times. The problem is if it's happening like 30 times or something, which definitely could happen, though realistically, it's probably going to be closer to like, what, 15-ish? Give or take a few. It's a dubious resource sink. Also, hello, Sushi Ninja. It kind of is. But it's understandable why they would add more things that would want to consume gems, as the game does give you a lot of gems. Like, if they ever lowered the gem rate, would be the main cause of alarm. But as long as they don't touch the gem rate and just, like, add more things to use gems on, I honestly don't mind that. The biggest issue is if they ever nerf the gem rate. Is as long as they just kind of add new things to kind of go with the gem rate, that's fine. But that gem rate going down would be very, very detrimental to everything that makes Gems of War function. I should take that purple first. Also, they still need to buff Treasure Hunt. I hope we get that next year. It doesn't seem like any patch this year based on the roadmap's going to do it. But we really need a Treasure Hunt rework already. It's been needing it for a very, 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 very long time. And by a very long time, I mean its entire existence. But, they've been talking about it for years and still haven't yet. They did the Arena one, though the Arena one honestly wasn't that good. The Treasure Hunt one's a lot harder to mess up. Oh wait, I already killed? I guess because it's the first time we fought that battle. Which I was like, that died instantly. You got lucky 2 more times going to top or bottom, getting steers or boom. Yeah, that's another thing. I haven't gotten that many steers. I got on the very first day and the other day. But beyond that, we've only gotten 2 steers so far. Or I should say 2 downward steers. We've gotten like 4 upward steers, but that doesn't help us. Oh wait, did Puzzle Quest 3 get an update yesterday? I didn't even notice. I did not check on it. Let's see, how have they been doing recently? I actually haven't even checked the other number for a while. Let me see, I'm just curious. Has it actually gone up? I feel like the answer is no. Is it Steam Chart or Steam Charts? It's one or the other. SteamCharts.com. Yeah, it's that one. What is it? Where are they at right now? What are you currently at? It's not looking good. There was 35 people 6 minutes ago. That's basically how many people were watching our stream 6 minutes ago. Though it technically did not go down. It is a gain of +0. Meaning that it, oh, then again, there's barely been any time. Wait, how's it already counting for September? September hasn't even started yet. Oh, never mind. That's last 30 days. Wait, why would that be any different? The last 30 days is the entirety of August. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird that it shows up like that. How is that even different at all? Because the last 30 days in August 2022 are like the exact same thing at this current moment in time. I guess it's a day off, kind of. Or several hours off. Because at this current date, those are basically the same exact number. Yeah, the title says Volkey hunting. Oh, I guess using Volkeys. I meant to say. Yeah, we're not hunting for Volkeys. This weekend we are. I guess Volkey opening, not hunting, is technically the right term. Volkey opening. You are correct. Technically opening is the right term. This weekend's Volkey hunting. We're going to be getting... we're probably aiming for 1,000 Volkeys this weekend, give or take. Like, we're definitely hitting several hundred, that's for sure. But we're probably going to try for 1,000. It depends how lucky or unlucky we get on verse 2, because verse 2 literally determines how many we get. Like, if we get really lucky on verse 2, we'll easily hit 1,000. If we don't, then we're probably hitting like 700, 800 or so. Somewhere around there. Hello, Tyrion! Welcome, welcome. Hope all's been well. Let's see. I'll take that over. Yeah, Puzzle Quest 3 is one of those games where I wish it would be doing better than what it is, but it hasn't been. It's one of those things where they did a beta for it, but they didn't really implement much feedback. Like, not that much feedback at all. Because a lot of really good feedback was given during the beta in various ways. But of all the feedback given, they did, like, maybe 5% of it. Let's see. I'll take that over. We got double Baldur here. I do not remember which one of the other ones is technically slightly lower. But it won't really matter too much because once we reach room 31, as long as we don't take that one lowest room, we're taking the right room every time. Hello, Dark Side. Welcome, welcome. How many Val Ravens do we have left? Or not Val Ravens, I mean Sigils. As soon as we finish this out, we'll go open a bunch of Volkeys. We'll go handle the code and then we'll open a bunch of Volkeys. Probably do like 50 or 100 of them tonight. We definitely gotta open a bunch, that's for sure. Because our number is going to be bigger. By the end of this weekend, the number of Volkeys we're going to have is going to be bigger than the number of Volkeys we had before we started opening them this last week. Because we're going to gain around 1,000 or so. And I have not used over 1,000 the last week. Several hundred, but not 1,000. Oh, you know what I should have actually done there? Oh, actually, I guess it doesn't matter what order we do. I was going to say use Black Manacle first there, so we could get a guy in Devour and get the value that way. However, technically, that wouldn't have mattered in that situation. It was actually better the order we did. Because you wouldn't want to Devour something that was partially damaged. There's the way that we did it. We actually made sure there wasn't a partially damaged one. Which is the way to go. Though right here I will start with it. Also because they're way lower stats. Actually, so much so we could just double Black Manacle. Oh no, he lived though. Or I shouldn't say he lived, he more so got a revive. There we go. And that's all for sigils. Okay, now let's go do a bunch of Volkey opening. But first let me go handle the code. So I'm going to go Pure Magic. Because we shouldn't need 20% mana start, we're already going to have 50% start. But here you guys go. Here is the redeem code. You use it on gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section. Just give me a moment to render it into existence. There we go. There we go. Too bad I couldn't make my own codes. That would actually be so much more convenient. But here you guys go. There is the redeem code. Use it on gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu. Whatever game says right over there is where you put in for your invite code. Redeem code's right over there in chat. Copy paste random numbers and letters starting with 4J. And it gives the same word as always. That's not where it is. It gives the same word as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Enjoy, everyone. There you guys go. So, with that out of the way, let's go and open a bunch of vault keys. And if we get some super juicy stuff, we'll go hand out an extra code. So, main things we're looking for are major orb and... Or sorry, not major orb. I mean power orb. Well, technically major orb. But we're looking for power orb, which resides in a major orb, as well as the 300 gem drop. And if we get either of them, we'll hand out an extra code. And maybe we'll even get both of them. AI def market's like 50% of the time. Sure feels like it sometimes. It only takes it happening at like the worst possible moment for it to feel like it's 100% chance of happening. Def mark's one of those mechanics where it does one of two things and nothing in between. It either auto wins a battle or does nothing. There's basically no in between. Normally it does nothing, but sometimes it doesn't do nothing. Also, why did I not cast Leprechaun first? I really should be in that situation. Still not used to using this exact setup of team. Though we probably should because we've been using it a lot recently. So apparently not enough. Oh wow, oh, well, extra code time. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time though. We literally just hand out the other code. But there we go, we already hit the 300 gems. Or should I say 60 Dragonite. Just not converted yet. Oh, there we go, 60 Dragonite, kind of. Not really. I wish it just had Dragonite as a drop. That would actually be kind of convenient. Replace the soul drop. Replace that 3,000 soul drop with 60 Dragonite. That'd be very convenient. Or maybe not even 60, just even like 10 or something. Some amount. 60 would be nice. I replaced all the orbs. Oh, so look at all these double trait stone drops. All 3 of them just gave us double trait stone. The only one that didn't was the one that doesn't even drop trait stones. Oh, lemon dill salmon. That sounds really good. Which reminds me, you know something I haven't had for a while? Fresh lemonade. There was a good Amish place by me back when I was in New Jersey that made the most insane lemonade I've ever had. And now no lemonade tastes the same in comparison. They sold it in like gigantic jugs too. Like they weren't exactly gallon jugs, they were just like very big jug that wasn't exactly a gallon. Like it wasn't like an exact gallon measurement, but it was like gallon-like sized. Let's see. If you could end your turn, I would like it, please. Thank you. Now I kind of almost want to go get salmon. I haven't been eating that much fish lately. I really need to. Fish is good. You open some keys, and oh wait, I didn't see the other part. Open so many keys and so many. Yeah, the orb rate. They actually made a change to it like 4 years ago or whenever it was. And when they did the update that made vault keys drop more orbs, they started dropping a lot more orbs. Like the factor of difference was pretty insane. Like how much more started dropping after the update. But yeah, that was like 4 years ago. That was even before Nomapalooza. Actually, I believe that was even before Vault Events, now that I think about it. Wait, would it have been? I can't remember. Did Vault Events exist as soon as Vault Keys came out? I don't remember. I know it was like pretty early in their cycle. They ended up buffing the orb rate of Vault Keys. They've even gotten a couple buffs. The 2 most noteworthy ones is when they made the orb rate substantially higher. And also added like a few other big loots, like the 300 gem drop. Because that didn't always exist, a 250 gem drop that becomes 300 with 20%. But there was that, and then when they added Nomapalooza. Because Nomapalooza brought with it that 20% bonus, as well as, you know, just the brokenness of Nomapaloozas. Actually, was it 20% even earlier? So technically it was 3 different updates then. When it got the 20%, when it got Nomapalooza, and when it got the orb increase. And it also got a few extra drops there, like the big drum drop and stuff like that. Though they didn't remove some of the really bad ones, unfortunately, like the 2,500 souls and stuff like that. But they did add a few new good ones, like the 300 gem one. Or I should say the 250 one that gets boosted. Which we actually got earlier to stream. Literally minutes ago. We're got you off an hour late installing a new phone. Oh gosh. Wait, installing? Oh, I guess one of those landline phones. Which reminds me, I haven't, even though I used it like a lot of my life, I almost forget that landline phones even exist sometimes. Even though I used them up to the point of being like 24, 25. I kind of forgot they even exist now. Because I used them up to like a couple years ago. And then like never had since. Actually, my grandma still has one of those, what are they called? Rotary phones, right? The ones where you have to dial with the little spinner. Yeah, she still has the... Well, probably the more impressive thing is, it actually works. Like, she uses it on a daily basis. And it actually still functions. How? I have no clue. That phone has to be, like, decades old. Like, that phone is probably older than I am. Hello, Supernova. Welcome. Come on, let's see another big drop. But we are going to still hand out an extra code for the other big drop. At this point, I'm kind of seeing if we can kind of time it with the other one. Because we kind of just handed out that other code so recently. So let's see what we can get. You almost had a perfect this morning? Yeah, I've gotten close to almost. But unfortunately, almost doesn't give Dragonite. I don't know, I don't really care if my phone has a long battery life. Normally, whenever I'm really using it out of the house, I'm not really using it for more than an hour. So if it has a bad battery life, then it's not really that big a deal. Though I have noticed, though it's not a phone, the OLED Switch actually has quite a bit longer of a battery life than the normal Switch. I'm not sure if my old Switch is just getting old, or if the other one just happens to be slightly more efficient for it. But it lasts like a whole extra hour, even when they're being used for the same thing. I don't really notice it with my phones that much, because realistically, I'm never really using a phone for super long duration. Personally. Like, if I'm using a phone, it's always in, like, very exceedingly short bursts. To a point where I'm pretty much never going to burn through the battery. Of course, if you're playing Gems of War on it, probably burn through the battery in, like, an hour and a half. Oh, we got another tarot card. I wonder where our tarot card total was the last week. It feels like about a dozen. Which honestly seems like a bit of a higher rate than I remember it being. Because we've only opened a couple hundred keys. Yeah, we've gotten like a dozen or so. Okay, let's go handle the code now. That was a smaller gem drop, but we got the bigger one earlier. So let's count code number 2. And we'll do a third one if and only if we get one of those other big drops again. Let me go get you guys code number 2. And we'll have code number 3 potentially soon. Also, we're going to hand out a lot of codes this weekend too. Kafka's probably going to send me a bunch for the next month. And I still have a lot not used from this month. So we'll do it when we do a big Nomapalooza vault grind this weekend. But yeah, I still have like 20-something codes remaining for the month of August. Mostly because she sent the other one a little bit later. So we got a lot of code just sitting around. So I'll try handing some of them out during the Vault event this weekend. Because we're going to do a big stream for it every day. And see how far that gets us as far as keys are concerned. I already got another tarot card, literally just a few later. But your phone lasts for half a day? Wow, that's a lot of time. If I don't have my phone in a charger, or at least my older one, I think my older one lasts for like 3 hours. The previous phone I had. Ooh, major orb? Aw, boo. Worst possible orb. It happens, Yeah, we're gonna probably try aiming for 100 keys, I think, to stream. Since there wasn't as much we had to do with the other event. And we gotta start chipping these down, because we're about to get another 1,000 this weekend, probably. Alright, we need the loot. Also, another thing happened this Friday. I almost forgot. We're getting a new mythic. Almost forgot about that little guy. You're never more than 2 seconds away from the charger. I have like so many USB devices set up over here. There's just like a gigantic mess of wires all over the way. I have really bad wire management. It literally just looks like a tangle of everything. I don't even know what. It's a gigantic mess. Major purple, always great to see. Not the best one, but far from the worst. Yeah, that newer phone has such a long battery life, I've literally never seen it run out of charge. Like, not a single time. I haven't been using it enough for it to ever happen. But it has never even come remotely close. Because I generally don't use it for, like, super long durations of time. So never once has it actually even remotely gone close to dying. Please let me move it, thank you. Then we'll go kill it out. Oh, he came so close. 8 HP. How could you? Oh, another major. Another dud. Come on, one more big drop. We'll hand out another code. It's in here somewhere. Ooh, major. Every major's a good chance. Blue orb, you're a good drop, but not the good drop we're looking for. These are mostly just counting powers and 300 gems. Which we've gotten both the 2 gem drops this stream. The 300 and the 120. That's 420. Plus all the other little scraps we've been getting here and there. They definitely add up. Another blue. Are power orbs even good drops anymore? I don't know. They're rare drops. If they're good is within question. Like, they definitely don't have a very immediate use. But similar to diamonds, it having an immediate use isn't necessarily a bad thing. Because it's one of those currencies where it's like, maybe right now it doesn't really do much, but it definitely at some point will. Because diamonds, once you have everything, does nothing. The same as power orbs. But they're both 2 really likely resources to get additional uses in the future. Another major? Another blue? Gosh, so many major blues. Is that 3 in a row? I think they're exactly back-to-back, but as far as major orbs, they're back-to-back. Gosh, how many major orbs are we going to get? Unfortunately, we finally broke our blue streak. The blue streak has been broken. Yeah, converting them into Dragonite would be insane. Yeah, they just keep making another resource after another, but never really syncing the past resources. I wish they would connect them a little bit better. Like, one of the worst ones they did was back in December. They very easily could have sunk ingots. Ooh, nice gems. But they very easily could have sunk ingots by making it required that you needed mythic ingots in order to make forge scrolls, those colored scrolls. You know, the ones that are needed to upgrade Doom weapons. Because they're quite literally the rarity above above mythic ingots. But they don't require any, which seems really weird. Because they're basically the step above mythic ingot, but they never did anything with it. So they could have made it so it cost mythic ingots instead of the other resource. Like, they still could have made it cost curse runes. But, you know, it could have finally been the mythic ingot sync. But it's not. Anyways, power? It's not a power. But yeah, there's several resources that could really use a sink in the game. Ingots, trait stones, probably one of the biggest of vendors. Diamonds. I feel like diamonds one that is slightly less likely in the near future. Mostly because for most of the game it's very useful. And then eventually you get near full completion and it becomes very useless. It's just really weird that diamonds is so good for as you're progressing through most of the game. But then the second you have every troop, it becomes as useless as trait stones. Oh, why did I think there was enough mana for you as well? You don't use brown mana. Right, 2 more keys, and that will be the halfway point on our keys here. I think we could easily still do another 50. They're pretty quick. I wish they were slightly quicker. Like, I wish we could have an AoE option that can one-shot them. That'd be great. Unfortunately, there is currently nothing in the game with that high a damage. Maybe at some point, but currently there's nothing that can hit that high. Like, there's not a single setup you could do to do that. Actually, that's not true. There is a setup, but you would have to get rid of, like, all your mana accumulators. Because you could use those troops that give you, like, +5 to everything, which would make her do 10 more total damage. But then you'd have no mana generator. You could drop to 110%. Yeah, but it feels like we're missing out on loot. Like, even if it's, like, so much quicker, like double the speed, I still feel like we're missing out on so much if we don't do that other 10%. Even though we're not really missing out on that much. Do I have any info on the Fall Guys season? I have not the slightest clue what Fall Guys is doing currently. Not the slightest clue at all. Yeah, they were supposed to have a new season this month. I mean, this week. Or, well, I guess both technically are the same thing at this point. But, yeah, I guess they're doing it early next month. I don't think we have an official date yet. I go check real quick. I haven't actually been looking at their Twitter. But, if I go, let's see. If I go peek at their Twitter says... nothing. Like, literally nothing. Wonderful. So I have no clue. But yeah, we'll be doing it whenever they, you know, actually update themselves. They've been really bad about updating in a timely manner, though. Like, other than their, re-release, every update they've done in the last, like, year have all been delayed. Like, literally every update they ever planned on doing was delayed in the last year, except for their actual release. Mostly because they had so much promotional stuff going for it, they couldn't really delay it. But aside from their re-release, every patch they've ever had in the last year has been delayed by some amount of time. Yeah, I prefer doing max level when we're doing these. Like, it just feels like we're missing so much loot if I don't get that extra 10%, even though it's not really missing out on much. It's also not that much longer to do it this way. It's like the difference of doing, like, a Phoenicia compared to a Rowain. Not quite the exact same, but Like, similar in that it's almost, like, barely any slower. I guess a better comparison is, like, the one-shot Dust Devil compared to two-shot Dust Devil. Where you have to click twice instead of once. It's kind of more similar to that premise. Another small gem drop. So those add up 120 at a time. Even those 24s add up pretty quickly. I still wish there was a way to sink more Dragonite, though. Given that it's eventually going to become a useless currency anyways. Unless they had some kind of other purpose for it. Because realistically, once you get the final dragon, the only other use you'll have for Dragonite is maybe getting a second copy of it, and then it will never have any purpose. I guess maybe a third as well. But there is no team that would ever use 4 of the 6-color dragon. So there might be some super gimmicky teams that use 2 or 3. But there will never be one that uses 4 for the very obvious reason that they cannot mana accumulate that well. Like, even if you had enchant, you probably still wouldn't run 4. It would just take so long for them to get rolling. Though it would be very funny to set as a defend team. It would be a good defend team. It would just be a funny defend team. It would also make it so whatever the color kill objective would be doable. Like, let's say the color kill objective on a given week is red or blue or yellow. Like, you would never have to change it because it's always the correct option. Actually, that sounds like a really good idea now that I think about it. Hold up. There actually is a purpose for 4. However, it's related to PvP defense. Oh, that would actually work out really well. Because anytime there's ever an objective to kill a specific color, you would always have that specific color up as your defense team. It also wouldn't be intimidating enough to actually ever win. Because obviously it's not going to win. So anyone who sees it will see it instantly as a weak battle, like 4 times bomb bot and stuff like that. So yeah, that actually would be an interesting purpose for it. It'd be a while before that's really realistic, though. Because realistically, it'll take over a year for people to start having 4 of them. However, it is possible. Who knows, maybe people will start setting as their defense. Yeah, that's going to be a year from now at this point. It's already going to be next year before we even get the first copy, let alone 4. But it would be kind of funny. Also, you could technically do that even with 3. Because your hero could be the other 6-color one. Though that would be cool if they gave Hero another 6-colored weapon. The current 2 are very dated. Though that one armor-gaining one used to be used with some Rowan builds back in the day. Though not really in the current state of the game. But way back in the day, they used to have potential for that. Which reminds me, there's kind of a funny video I want to cover for Gems of War tomorrow. Which hopefully I'll get out kind of early in the morning if I can. It's mostly over the class event. Though it's a really funny team. Let's see. Take that over. I would like a brown, please. Thank you. How many more Volkies do we have to go tear through? See if we can get one more big loot. Come on, power? That's not a power. That's 33 more. Let's keep doing it then. Hopefully we'll find one more big loot. Oh, I want to see one more 300 drop if we can. That's the main thing we're hunting these for. Like, if you're wondering why we're even opening these Volkies, like, that's the target. That's, like, the entire target. The 300 gem drop, the 120 gem drop. Anything good we can get along the way. Here's Dragonites aren't gonna gem themselves. Gotta get all the spares. Actually, that's something I haven't bothered pulling. Let me do it now, even though it's a little bit later in the stream. Do you have enough gems to get all the gem dragons? Do you have enough gems currently? To get all of the gem dragons? Yes or no? As far as what that number is, it's pretty much, well, it depends. It would definitely be at least 30,000 gems. Would be that number. Because I feel like a lot of people don't. Like, a lot of people might be farming for it, but I feel like a lot of people just on hand do not have the gems for it. Like, over the course of months, and now that we know that it exists, and you can just, like, farm for it through other things, like vault events this weekend, like, you'll probably be able to get enough. But I feel like the majority would not have enough yet. You have 84 Dragonite? Yeah. Oh, you mean you got it just from the free one? Oh, that's funny. You still haven't gotten a single perfect run. It'll happen eventually, though. There's something else we actually need to make an updated video on. I actually meant to this weekend, but then got caught up with a few other things. But, how to farm gems. Obviously, we've been doing it the last week or so. It's pretty straightforward and hasn't been updated at all since the previous time because, you know, it's still the same methods. However, still good info. Though most gem farming is pretty much just done off of vault events these days. Like, vault events and vault keys. And obviously tribute. Like, between those, that's almost all of it. Though there are a few other methods, of course. But realistically, that's where most of them are coming from these days. You're not blowing your stash on them. That is true, too. Because there's might be some people who have enough gems for it, but that aren't actually going to do it. I don't know, I like dragons, and they're pretty decent. Like, if gems was a money-only currency, I definitely wouldn't bother for it. But with how many gems they give for free, it's definitely very doable. That reminds me, aren't we supposed to get a Broken Spire rework this month? We go to gemsofwar.com and we click over to forums in this broken format, and then we click on search and type in roadmap. Let's see. The month of September is a Broken Spire Kingdom rework. Then we have the Halloween update, then the 8th anniversary, and then the final patch of the year. Yeah, this month is Broken Spire rework. How good that's going to be, who knows? But Broken Spire, of course, main relevant thing about that is the first kingdom in the game. The very first one you ever enter as a new player. So you have to be a little careful how they balance it. Because whatever they rebalance are the first enemies new players ever see. So maybe they're going to make them a bit more diverse. Because a lot of the ones in the first kingdom are pretty simple, because it is the first kingdom. But whatever changes they make, you have to keep in mind, new players are going to be exposed to those troops immediately when they start the game. So you have to be careful with how they balance them. As some of the very first troops a brand new player will ever see are the ones from Broken Spire. And maybe that's one of the things that they're going to do, is make them a bit more interesting. Because most of the ones in Broken Spires have some of the most basic abilities, like, ever. You got Brown Dragon from the egg? Nice. Yeah, that's one of the ones I feel like has a lot of potential to be good. I still feel like green and purple probably have the absolute highest potential. But brown's definitely really high up there. There's a lot of really good brown storm teams, plus barrier on brown hero classes are insane to go synergize with it. Yeah, now that I think about it, brown might actually be the strongest one of the 6. Not counting the 6 color one. Because that's in a category of its own compared to the other 6. Like, they're not comparable. The Gems of War original soundtrack. I actually have most of those files because they were actually just sitting in the game back in the day. And I actually have them on my other computer, a lot of those files, the sound files for the music and everything else, as well as for all the sound effects. Like the legendary, epic, all the other ones. Rare. The rare one was funny. Because the way it says it, it sounds like a steak. Like you're saying a rare steak rather than the rare rarity. Yeah, 16 marquees. See if we get anything good here for the final stretch. Hopefully at least one good drop. Yeah, tomorrow will be the last time we open Vault Keys for a little bit. Since as soon as Vault event starts, we'll of course be shifting from using Vault Keys to hunting for Vault Keys. Ooh, almost pure diamonds. 60, then a 6, then a 2. Almost pure. Almost triple 6 as well. I want to find 10 hours of the mana surges. Yes, that actually is one of the sound files we have for the other thing too. This mana surge on repeat. No, that would get annoying very quick. Like the game scatters them here and there, and that's fine. Listening it onto repeat would be the most annoying thing ever. Mana surge, mana surge, mana surge. The surge of mana. Oh, there we go. We got 666. No, one of them was gems, not diamonds. 66 and 60. No, honestly, I'd much rather have gems than diamonds. Even though the effective rate of value of diamonds is twice as much as gems. They're basically a value of about 2 gems per diamond. But you get more value from the gems because they're a lot more flexible. And also because we don't need diamonds anymore. That's the obvious other reason. We have no use for diamonds. Hey, 24 gem drop. Still good to see. As good as the 120 or the 500, but every little bit adds up, even those 6s. Also, I don't believe they've buffed it yet. The mythic we're getting this Friday is really bad. Like, really, really bad. Like, one of the worst mythics we've ever gotten. No, maybe not the absolute. I don't know. Is it top 10? Is this top 10 worse? That's a really low bar. So I'm not sure if it's exactly top 10 worse. It's very close. It's definitely trying to contend for top 10 worse. But it deals magic times 1.5 plus 1 damage to all enemies or all life to allies. If it did both those two things, it would still be considered bad. With either or, it's not only inconsistent, but also bad. But even if it did both, if it said and instead of or, I'm pretty sure it still would not get used. Because if it was and instead of or, it's basically just weaker Tina 9000. With it as or, it's double weaker Tina 9000. Or not even, actually, it's not even comparable to Tina 9000 at that point. It's just all week. The main thing I say about Tina 9000 is a 50% spell reduction that has durability gain, which is the main reason I make a comparison to Tina 9000, as Tina 9000 is the overall best spell reduction troop with a durability gain. There's technically something with a higher spell reduction in it, but it has no durability gain. The other option. But it's basically just definitively weaker Tina 9000, even if it did both. But it's either or instead of both. Which is super bad. At least if it had board control and did either or, that would make more sense. But to have literally no board control and do either or, super, super bad. If it did defense instead of HP, I'm not sure. Because I don't feel like it'd be used on many of the boost ratio teams. Like, it needs to do what it does now with board control. Or have a wider range of stats that it could do. Like, it needs more than just HP. Like, if it was kind of like Humility and did a random stat, now that could be interesting. Like if it was an AoE, but its other option was gain to a random skill or random stat. Because then it could hit magic. And then we have some potential. But even then, it still wouldn't get much usage. It'd be too slow of an option in most teams. It also would be way too random of an option. Even now, it's way too random of an option. You normally want that higher consistency. Yeah, it could be like a guard's avatar buffer kind of troop. Because then it would have synergy in that regard. Right now, it's basically just definitively weaker guard's avatar, though. And even with that ability, why wouldn't you just, like, double up normal guard's avatar at that point? Because it'd probably have higher consistency and be, better. Oh, Cherry. I don't think we've gotten that one yet in all of our tarot cards the last several days. A new one for the collection of what we already have completed. Another one for the completed collection. For the second time over. And wait, was that the final key? Oh, Tribute's ready. Is that the final one, or do we have one more? We have two more. I almost just used an Epic Vault key, which you probably should at some point. The only reason I hoard them is with how they love to add new resources. I'm holding off in case they ever add a new resource into Epic Vault keys. Will that ever happen? Probably not. Could it happen? Yes. And for that reason, I have not been using them. Because right now, there's currently nothing unique in Epic Vault keys. It's just more of what's in the normal keys. However, there is a chance that they'll eventually add something to it. Can you send Pokemon from Sword and Shield to Pearl? Yes. You can't for that other game, whatever that one other one was, like Hey You, Pikachu, and Eevee. But all the more recent games, they're actually completely interchangeable, the Pokemon between them. So you can send between Arceus and Sword and Shield and Pearl, and even next gen will likely have transfer to it after a couple months. Yeah, they all transfer to each other. The only ones that don't is Pokemon Go and that one like Hey You, Pikachu, and Eevee one or whatever it's called. But anyways, I think we are done here. Unfortunately, we didn't get another big drop at the end, but we did hand out 2 codes, so. And we'll probably hand out another 2 tomorrow night because we're going to kind of do the same thing. We're going to go do the class event real quick. Probably have like a little small video in the morning or afternoon or so. And I might even do a midday stream tomorrow, we'll see. And then we'll go and yeah, do a little bit of last little bit of grinding. And then this weekend we have the Super Ultra Volkey grind. And we'll go from there and see how that goes. Anyways, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. I will be back tomorrow night, as I mentioned, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 hour prior to now tomorrow. I'll have a bunch of codes to do class events, and yeah, open a bunch more Vault keys. And see if we can finally get this perfect run. We are still 8 days now with no perfect run for the dungeon. It will happen at some point. It has to. But yeah, we'll keep going. Obviously, we need the Dragonite. And slowly over time, we'll go and hopefully cover more of the dragons until we eventually have them all. And then that'll be fun, because then we have quite a few interesting options that are pretty strong. Like new meta options that'll actually be able to be used. But currently, no one really has them. Or, you know, not all of them yet. But it'll take some time. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your week, and we'll be back soon. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.